Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Unity of Charlotte, where our mission is to love, serve, and grow. We are located in 401 East Arrowwood Road and want to welcome all of you here in the sanctuary today. We have some smiling faces, some with masks. And I want to welcome those of you at Zoom and YouTube. Let's go ahead and say the prayer of oneness. There is one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God, the good, omnipotent. Today's daily word is forgiveness. I begin my journey of forgiveness. Unforgiveness is a heavy bag of rocks I carry on my shoulders. When I drop the bag and begin to set the rocks aside one by one, I embark upon a healing journey. God is with and within me on this journey as my constant support and strength. When forgiveness feels difficult, I only return my attention to Spirit's constant loving and accepting presence within me, reestablishing my consciousness. My conscious connection brings warm and welcome acceptance. It is an important step in the underburdening process of forgiveness. I forgive others as well as myself. Knowing each act of forgiveness increases my freedom to live a happy and fulfilling life. The Bible verse says, bear with one another, and if anyone has complained against another, forgive each other. Just as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. Daily Word is a trademark of Unity Wide World Ministry. For today's announcements, affirmative prayer is on Tuesday evening at 7:15 on Zoom. The path of initiation is on Wednesdays at 1 on Zoom. The men's group meets in person at the church, here at the church, the second and fourth Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. A Course in Miracle meets Thursdays at 9:30 on Zoom. All links can be found on the website unityofcharlotte.org. Okay, now, actually, I would like to, before we do the affirmation, I would like to also announce that I'm the youth ed director for our church. We haven't really been meeting with the children, but I'm available for anyone that has small children if they want to bring them Sunday morning. And we also have other people that can do a class for them. So please bring your children if you would like to. Now for our affirmation for our new meeting space. Let's take this together and let's put some emphasis and some faith into it. We affirm the presence of a new minister home for Unity of Charlotte that fulfills every need for space and use in order to support and share our unified purpose to love, grow, and serve. And so it is. And now I'm pleased to announce that our speaker for today is Fred Monroe, we all know Fred. He is a very devoted, long-time member of the Unity movement. Fred is going to be speaking today on the 4 agreements and how we can live within their structure. He shares insights, both spiritual and scientific, as how we can live better by following this simple suggestion. I like the idea that he's not only doing the spiritual, but the scientific, because, you know, most of us we want to know things. We want to know that a little bit more than just woo-woo stuff. Okay, here is Fred. Round of applause, please.
Today, I'm speaking about the 4 agreements. I've rewritten a little bit of it according to my ideas. There are 4 agreements that you have made, perhaps, And this book will lead you to some new agreements. Yeah, how about that? The Four Agreements is a book. I held it up, get the book, by Don Miguel Ruiz. Did I get that right? Which reveals the sources of possible sources of self-limiting beliefs. Isn't that pretty? It's on the cover. No, it isn't on the cover. It isn't either. Okay. These are agreements that you have made for and with yourself. Some of the ones you have made may rob you of joy and create needless suffering. This book is based on an ancient Toltec wisdom. The Four Agreements offer a powerful code of conduct that can rapidly transform lives into a new experience of freedom, true happiness, and love. This book suggests ways to make new agreements with yourself. Don Miguel was born into a family of healers and raised in rural Mexico by a curandera mother and by his grandfather. The family anticipated that Miguel would embrace their centuries-old legacy of healing and teaching and carry forward the esoteric Toltec knowledge. Now, Toltec sounds like an internet company, but believe me, this was before electronic computers. Thousands of years ago, the Toltec were known throughout southern Mexico as men and women of knowledge. Anthropologists have spoken of the Toltec as a nation or race, but in fact, the Toltec were scientists and artists who formed a society to explore and conserve the spiritual knowledge and practices of the ancient ones. They came together as masters and students at Teotihuacan. That is the ancient city of pyramids near Mexico City, known as the place where man becomes God. This knowledge arises from the essential unity of truth found in many traditions in the world. Though it is not a religion, it honors all the spiritual masters who have taught on the earth. While it does embrace spirit, it is most accurately described as a way of life distinguished by the ready accessibility of happiness and love. Sounds like unity to me. Everything in existence is a manifestation of the one living being we call God. Everything is God. And it came to the conclusion, and Miguel came to the conclusion that the human perception is merely light perceiving light. This realization changed his life once he knew what he really was. He looked around at other humans and at the rest of nature, and he was amazed at what he saw. I'm going to take you there today, too. You'll see. He saw himself in everything, in every human, in every animal, in every tree, in the water, in the rain, in the clouds, and then in the earth. He saw that space and light were mixed in different ways to create billions of manifestations of life. What you are seeing right now is a dream. Right now, you are dreaming in this moment. You are dreaming with your brain awake. Now, when your brain is in awake, it's different from sleep. Dreaming is the main function of the mind, and it dreams 24 hours a day. It dreams when the brain is awake, and it dreams when the brain is asleep. The difference is when the brain is awake, there is a material frame that makes us perceive things in a linear way, and we call that time. When you're awake, you are living within time. When we go to sleep, we do not have that frame, and the dream is timeless. No time. The large dream of this planet includes all of society's rules, its beliefs, its laws, its religions, its different cultures, its ways, its governments, its schools, social events, and holidays. Four agreements. See the picture on the screen. There we go. I will attempt to read exactly what he says. I have not checked that what I'm going to say is exactly that. So put the old eagle eye on it and see if I get it right. Ha, got your attention now. Agreement number one, be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using your word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. The first agreement is the most important one. It can be the most difficult to honor. It is so important that to be able to transcend to a level of existence called heaven and earth, you will be able to transcend to that level, heaven on earth. It sounds simple, but it's very, very powerful. Your word is the power that you have to create. Your word is the gift that comes from God. The Gospel of John in the Bible, speaking of the creation of the universe, says that in the beginning was the Word. I wasn't too sure what the word was. I wondered what are they talking about? And I'm going to explain my idea here in a minute. The Word was God, the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Excuse me. Through the Word, we express our creative power. It is through the Word that we manifest everything, regardless of which language you speak. Your intent manifests through your word. What you dream, what you feel, and what you really are is manifested through your word. Now, a word is not just a sound or a written symbol in some particular language or something else. The word is a force. It is the power you have to express and to communicate, to think, and thereby to create the events of your life. What other animal on the earth can speak? Only the humans can speak and use words. Word is the most powerful tool you have. As a human, it is your tool of magic. Now, your word can create beautiful dreams, or it can destroy. It just depends on which edge of the sword you use. Now, here we go on what more about word. This is not in the book. I got this from another book. In Old English, the word was a word that did not mean word. It meant thought. In Unity, we know that in the beginning there was thought. And according to Edgar Cayce and his idea in the back of that book, there is a river. I love that one, this one. In the beginning, it was a thought that became aware of itself, and then it moved. Now, let's talk about the word impeccability. How about that word? It means without any sin. And I'm going to explain sin in a minute too. Wait till you hear that. Impeccability comes from Latin peccatios, which means sin, and im means not. So we have a word that means don't sin. So what is sin? Sin is something or anything you do which goes against yourself. Everything you feel or believe or say that goes against yourself is a sin. You go against yourself when you judge or blame yourself for anything. Now, with this point of view, the whole concept of sin changes from something that's moral or religious to something that is common sense. We call it practical Christianity. Being impeccable with your word means you are not using thought against yourself. Agreement number 2. Nothing others do is because of you. Wolf. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. The rest of these agreements are really born from the first one. Whatever happens around you, don't take it personally. If you take something personally, you begin to believe that you are like the statement that has been made. Think to yourself, how does someone know I'm dumb? Is he clairvoyant? Think about Forrest Gump. He wasn't really dumb. That's it. You take things personally when you agree with what has been said about you. As soon as you agree, you're going along with what the other person has said. This problem occurs when you're trapped in what is called personal importance. Personal importance, or taking things personally, is the maximum expression of selfishness, because we make the assumption that everything is about ourselves. Me, 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 me. Always me. Paragraph. Nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. All other people live in their own dream and in their own mind. They are in a completely different world from the one you live in. When we take something personally, we make the assumption that they know what is in our world, but they don't. They think they do, perhaps, but they don't really know. When other people bring their worries to you and you accept their worries, they become your worries. Accepting worries is optional. You do not need to accept other people's worries. There, I said it twice. I tell friends of mine, don't worry about that. They often insist louder than before that their worries are real. I just don't understand. They raise their voice. They try harder and harder to convince me that their worries need to be my worries and that I should participate in their worries to help them. Even though I tell them not to worry, they continue to worry louder and louder, and on it goes. They won't stop. They need to read this book. We make something big out of something little because we have the need to be right and we make everyone else wrong. We also try to be right by giving them our own opinions. I know, I have an opinion about everything. That's because we're so smart, right? Well, whatever you feel and do is just a projection of your own personal dream. What you say, what you do, and the opinions you have are according to the agreements that you have made with yourself. Usually, previously, they were agreements. So the opinions of others have nothing to do with us. I like that, actually. All right, agreement number 3, don't make assumptions. I call it don't jump to conclusions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. Oh, drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. We have the tendency to make assumptions about everything. The problems with making assumptions is that we believe they are the truth. We could swear they are real. We see evidence they are real. We know they are real. We make assumptions about what others are doing or thinking. Then we blame them and react by sending assumptions along with our words. That is why whenever we make assumptions, we are asking for problems that we don't need. We make an assumption, we misunderstand, we take it personally, and we end up creating a great big whole major drama for nothing. Your life can be rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. Your life can be rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. Take a moment to consider the truth of this statement. The whole control drama between humans is about making assumptions and taking things personally. We create a lot of emotions just by making assumptions and taking it personally, because usually we start gossiping about our assumptions. Remember, gossiping is the way we share our stuff with others and transfer it to them so they have an opportunity of accepting it if they want it along with us. We can be afraid to ask for clarification when they make assumptions and believe that we are right about them. Did I say that right? We are afraid to ask for clarification. We may make assumptions and believe that we are right about them. Then we defend our assumptions and try to make someone else wrong, if necessary. Wrong. Making assumptions in our relationships is asking for problems. Often we make the assumption that our partners know what we think and that we don't even have to say what we want. We assume they are going to do what they do because they know us so well. When they don't do what we assume they should or will do, we feel hurt and say, "You should have known." Agreement number 4. I hope I'm on time. Program director? Okay, thumbs up. Agreement number 4, always do your best. Your best is I like this one a lot. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It's not always something exactly the same. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. For example, we don't get sick, but if you got sick, I guess. Under any circumstances, simply do your best and you will avoid, what will you avoid? Self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. This agreement is about taking action. It's similar to unity principle number 5, taking action, as voiced this way, the way I like to voice it. Principle number 5, I act. That's it. Under any circumstance, always do your best. No more, no less. Keep in mind, your best is never going to be the same from moment to moment. Everything is alive and changing all the time. So your best will sometimes be of high quality. At other times, it may not be so good. Your best will be different when you're healthy as opposed to tired. The word was sick, but I don't like to use it. It will be different when you are rested. There it is. Or when you are tired. I got tired last week. Ugh. How true this statement is. Your best will depend on whether you are feeling wonderful and happy or upset and angry. In your everyday moods, your best can change from one moment to another, 1 hour to the next, one day to another. Your best will always change. Let's build a habit of 4 new agreements, and your best will become better than it used to be. Now, if you try too hard to do your best, you will spend more energy than is needed. And in the end, your best will probably not be enough if you judge it. When you do overdo it, you deplete your body and go against yourself. It will take you longer to accomplish your goal. If you always do your best, you will not judge yourself. And if you don't judge yourself, you won't suffer from guilt, blame, and self-punishment. By always doing your best, you will break a big spell that you may have been under. A man went to a Buddhist master and asked a question. If I meditate 2 hours a day, how long will it take me to transcend? The master said, perhaps you will transcend in 10 years. The man then said, oh, master, if I meditate 8 hours a day, then how long will it take me? The master looked at him and said, you will probably transcend in 20 years. Longer, twice as long. The man asked, why will it take me longer? The master replied, are you here to sacrifice your joy and your life? You are here to live and to be happy and to love. If you can do your best in 2 hours of meditation, why spend 6 hours wasting your time? Good idea. Do your best, live, love, and be happy. Well, one more thing. Do not be concerned about the future. Keep your attention on today and stay in the present moment. Just live one day at a time. We've heard that one. Always do your best to keep your agreements, and soon it will become easier and easier to keep your agreements and to adjust them as you wish. Today is the beginning of your new dream. Meditate with me, please. Here is a meditation. It came from the book, although I fredicated it. I fredified it a little bit. Let us meditate. Let us dream together. Assume the position. Breathe gently. Think about meditating. Enter into dreamland. Be in the middle of a beautiful, warm, sunny day. You hear birds, the wind, and a little river. Walk through the trees along a path toward the river. At the edge of the river, there is an old man sitting on a rock in meditation. You see that out of his head comes a beautiful light of different colors. You think at first that you will not bother him, but he notices your presence and opens his eyes. He has the kind of eyes that are full of love, happiness, and a big smile. You ask him how he is able to radiate all that beautiful light. You ask him if he will teach you to do what he is doing. He replies that many, many years ago, he asked the same question of his teacher. This man opened up his happiness and took some of it out of his heart and gave it to me. It was a beautiful flame of love. He placed the happiness within my heart. The happiness grew in my heart and became a big fire. A fire that doesn't burn, but purifies everything that it touches. He explained to me that the fire was the same one Moses found in the burning bush. That fire touched every one of the cells of my body, and my cells loved me back. I became one with my body, and my happiness grew more. The fire touched every emotion of my mind, and all of my emotions transformed into a strong and intense happiness. I loved myself completely and unconditionally. I walked very slowly back up the path to return. Now the fire kept burning, and I had the need to share my love. I decided to put a bit of my love in every tree. The trees loved me back. I became one with the trees. My love did not stop, it grew more. I put a piece of my love in every flower, in the grass, in the earth. They loved me back, and we became one. I put a piece of my love in every crystal, in every rock, in the dirt, and the earth loved me back. I loved water, oceans, river, rain, and snow, and they loved me back. And still my love grew and grew. I decided to give my love to the air and to the wind. I felt a strong connection with the earth, the wind, the oceans, and nature. I turned my head to the sky, to the sun, to the stars, and put a piece of my love in every star. It was easy. They loved me back. I feel good. Out of my head shines a beautiful light of different colors. I am radiant with the glow of love. Thank you, Creator of the universe, for the gift of life you have given us. Thank you for giving us everything we have ever needed. Thanks for the opportunity to experience my beautiful, wonderful body, my wonderful mind, and the love I feel. Thank you for living within me. I will love the rest of my life. Amen, amen, amen. End of meditation. There's a transcript if you like. You can tell I read it mostly.
Thank you, Fred. That was awesome. I feel so full. I hope you feel the same way. Hope you feel the same way. This is the reason that I come to Unity, because this is what you get. You get something to fill you up for the whole week, to remind you of who God is and who you are and what we're here to do. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I had read that book, but believe me, I needed all that today. Okay, so now, if you feel full and if you feel that you have got fed today, we're going to have our offering. So be generous. We have rent to pay and things to do, and we're really appreciative. And now we have, do we have a song? Oh, we have the offertory blessing. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's say together, joyfully, I give this gift, knowing the divine presence blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And so it is. Say it together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.